What up, YouTube? It is your man Julio here yet again with another rant. This rant has actually been a rant that came into my head a while back, but it didn't actually come into play until I actually started thinking about it. You know, because when you think about something back. Whenever you first think about it, you don't really put much thought, or you maybe put all the thought in the world. But then if you don't put the thought into it initially, it might pop up later in life, and then all of a sudden you're just like, holy crap, you think of all this stuff. And the topic I want to talk about is actually choices. People's lives are made of choices. There's always going to be a choice. If I've learned anything, it's that you always have a choice. I think that's how I'm gonna live my life from now on, with that mentality that you always have a choice. You do. People sometimes don't think they have a choice, but that's the choice that they're making, thinking that they don't have a choice. Let's say you have a job or whatever, and you have the choice of going to work or not going to work. Let's say your friend's just like, dude, you can miss work, whatever. But they're just like, no, I can't. I have to go to work. That is their choice. They do have the option of not going to work. That is all. There's always a choice, even if it's just maybe you don't have a choice, and maybe dying or being born, maybe. But those are circumstances out of your hand. Legit. You have no control over that. I mean, you can't force your parents into making you, and you can't force yourself to die unless you commit suicide, but that's a choice. Death, I think, is more choice-oriented, but it's sometimes not. And then birth, you have no control over whatsoever, but your parents do. But choices are always things that people will always think about, because there are always, I feel like it's more what if things too, because if you miss, if you choose, if you're at a road where you have two choices, and the only two present choices that you have, you try to think ahead of those choices. You're just if I do this, this is gonna happen. If I do this, this is gonna happen. And your mind starts to wonder, and you start overthinking your choices, and you're just and then that's when you get thoroughly confused, and you get panicked and whatnot. But those overthinking things can actually do bad things, and but sometimes they do good. Who knows? Another reason why I talked about these choices thing is because I don't know if you guys know, but The Walking Dead Telltale games video game is pretty much based all about choices. It's you choose how you present yourself as a person. You can either be a liar or very honest completely. You choose who can live and who can die. That's a major choice, and it's just that also gets me thinking, choices do matter. This, it even says in the game, the choices you make in this story will affect how it is later in the game. And you're just and I'm just that's life, really. Whatever choices you make will affect the story that goes on, let's say you are like me, and you choose to be honest pretty much whenever you can, 100%, unless it means having to protect someone, but that's your choice. So your life is then now you being honest with people. Imagine if I stuck with me being a compulsive liar. How would my life look now? See, that's another what if thing. You can choose to be mean, good, kind. You can choose all these things. You can, and people are just oh, we're from third world country, we're from a impoverished neighborhood, family, blah blah blah, and they don't think they have the choices that that they deserve or whatever. But you always have that choice. Never said the choice was gonna be easy. The choices are very difficult to do. There's sometimes the easy choice, which is usually, I'm not going to say a cop-out, but it is, because you want to take, because people will take the minimum amount of work to do something, and there you go. If you want to be higher up, and you will always have that choice, but you have to earn that choice. You have to do all this stuff for that choice. It's not it's just going to be handed to you. Not all choices are just handed to you. Choices can be handed to you, you're asking a simple question, you want to do this or whatever, but then they cannot be chosen for you. You're in high school, you could be college work, and those are things that you think about that will affect your story, like in the game. But like, I'm now gonna live with the fact that everyone always has a choice, and choices are always gonna affect people around you. Like, it's just how it is. Either it can be who you hang out with, or how the people you hang out with act because of a certain situation. But you will always have a choice, and those choices will always affect someone, even if it's just you. Like, it could be just a mental, like, choice. Be like, oh, what do I want for breakfast? This. That can affect you, and only you. You know what I'm saying? Choices are always going to be around us, and choices are actually, like, super, super important to, like, how life is lived amongst everybody, and choices will always vary. But there are choices that intertwine, that's with different people, and those choices, like, you know, that makes the story, like I'm saying. That's why I think the Walking Dead video game is a good representation, a good metaphor for actually what is being, like, I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But I now live my life that you always have a choice. And it's been put into use a lot recently, like, just because, like, you know, people are doing other things, and, like, people say they want to hang out and then they don't because they're just like, I have something else and I don't have a choice or whatever. And I'm just you always have a choice. You will always have a choice. That's never an excuse that you have something else to do. You know, I mean, I wouldn't get upset if you had something else to do, but I'm just saying that is your choice. You will always have a choice. It's how it is. Whether it be you go hanging out with me or hanging out with someone else, you have that choice. Whether or not it affects me majorly, that doesn't actually really have to matter with anything, because that's your choice. Like, oh, you don't hang out with me? Oh, okay, I'm a little bummed. I find something else to do. I have that choice is now put. It's like, okay, now that I have been, you know, not able to do this, what other choices do I have? So choices will continue until you die, but then those choices are then brought on to other people, like, oh, what do we do with this casket and stuff like that. It's just it's like a never-ending cycle with these choices until, you know, like, everyone's gone. Like, that's pretty much how it is. Choices will be with you forever, and they might even be with the people after you're gone. Like, you know, it's just a cycle that continues, and I think it's, like, glorious that it is. And choices can be bad, good, affect lives, ruin lives, and people will backtrack the choices they made, and they're just like, oh man, I should have chose something different. But you can't. Like, this isn't the Walking Dead video game where you can go back and play the story and do different decisions. You only have one shot at what you're doing. I mean, the choices may come up again, like, you know, job offers, if you turn one down, get another, but you can't always rely on the fact that you might get a second take at that, you know, decision. It's just, so, if anything, make the choices that you honestly feel are for you. That's what I'm saying, because if you think of taking choices that's good for someone else, that's just gonna hurt you. Do what makes you feel good, you know, do what makes you like things you actually want to do. Make the choices that you feel are good for, like, yourself or whatever. You're in a bad mood, don't hang out with someone. Don't forcibly put yourself in that situation to make it worse. You know, that could be a horrible choice. Don't work at a job because you're forced to work at something you love. You know, it's just, that's what I gotta say about the whole choices thing. Whether you choose to listen to me or not, I mean, that's always up to you guys, but that was just another rant that I had, and this one was actually, like, a long one, because see how many, like, different choices you have with the whole choices situation. It's like choiceception, or whatever. Do people still use the inception, like, thing? I don't know, but, yeah, so I also chose to make this video, so there we go, it all intertwined. Yeah, but choices, my only advice is you always have a choice, and make the choices that make you happy. Alright? Don't try to please anybody else with your choices. Do what feels right for you. That's all I have to say. Like I said, whether you choose to listen to me, that's your choice. Alright? I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace, but Grease, Middle East Priest. That touched little boys. Still inappropriate. Grease out.